Hi guys, in today's lesson, you are going to learn how to graph an inequality in the coordinate plane. So far, you've graphed lines in the coordinate plane and you've graphed inequalities on those little number lines. Remember we did the open circle, closed circle thing? Well, we're gonna do that, but in the coordinate plane. So just a quick note, if you forget these symbols, you might wanna write them in your notes. This is the greater than, the less than symbol, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. And something that's really important when it comes to graphing these in the coordinate plane is to know if you're going to graph it with a dotted line or a solid line. So greater than or less than, remember we used like the open circle? Well, we're going to use a dashed line. So you might want to write that next to your symbols, dashed line. That's like this, dash, 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 dash. And I'll show you what that means. Here, with the greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, we're going to use a solid line. It's easy to remember that because there's a solid line underneath each of these symbols here. I've lost my mouse there. Underneath each of those symbols. So that's just going to be, no, what's happening? A solid line, okay? Like that. It'll be like that, okay? This one also will be like this, but it'll be dashed, okay? So put that in your notes and let's continue. So now I'm going to scroll down and show you how this works. Yes, I got my image from shutterstock.com. Okay, so say it has something like y is greater than 2. Well, this is saying that every value you put in for y must be greater than 2, and that satisfies this inequality. So 3 is greater than 2, 4 is greater than 2. So we're going to imagine it just like if it was y equals 2. So if it was y equals 2, we'd put we'd go to the y-axis, we'd put a point, and then we would do a horizontal line. Now, because this is greater than and not greater than or less than, we're going to do a dotted line, dotted line, or dashed line. And, it'll be straight. Not me, because I can't make straight lines. It's cool. All right, and then because it's greater, we need to think of all the y values that are greater. So we have to think we're going, up the x-axis, or up the y-axis, right? So we have to shade everything above that line. If it was y is less than 2, we would shade everything below that line under here. Let's try that now, apply this to x. So say we had x is less than or equal to 4. Okay, so we would do it just like we would do x equals 4. We're going to look for 4 on the x-axis and put that point. And remember, this is a vertical line. Now, question, is it dashed or solid? It's a solid line because we have less than or equal to. So now we have to think, okay, all the x's must be less than or equal to 4. And when we include that solid line, that's including 4. So everything that's less than or equal to 4 is going to be over here, right? Shade, 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 shade. Beautiful, right? Lovely. Okay, so you just have to think, well, 3 is less than 4, 2 is less than 4. All of this stuff would be included. So you have to shade it. And I'll show you what that looks like on the IXL. But let me give you an example now. Say you have something a little more complicated, like y is greater than or equal to 1/2 x plus 1. Well, you would know how to do this, right? Y equals 1/2 x plus 1. You already practiced that today. So it's the same sort of thing. So you'd go to your y-intercept. Remember, the y-intercept is right over here. It does not have an x with it. And we go to 1 and plot the point. Now the slope is saying up 1 over 2. So up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and so on and so forth. Now this is going to be a solid line. Oh boy. Okay. It's a really good line. I went through all the points. Hey, I told you I'm not good at graphing. So it's that is the line, 1/2 x plus 1, but it's greater than or equal to. So that means all the solutions that would make this true are going to be above this line, okay? Above the line. I'll give you an example of something below. So say you had y is less than 3x minus 2. Okay, so we'd start with the y-intercept and put a point down here, a -2. And the slope is 3, but it's like 3 over 1. So we're going to go up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. And here I go trying to draw a straight line. Oh, but I messed something up. You know what I messed up? It should not be a solid line. It needs to be dashed. So, ooh, okay. Didn't mean to do that. So we're just going to dash the line. Dash, 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 dash. Okay. Now, it's less than 3x minus 2. So that means every xy ordered pair that makes this true has to be below the line. So we shade below. Okay? Let's try the IXL. Like I said, not as hard as it looks. So where's my IXL? There it is. So, for example, y is greater than or equal to -3. We would go to the y-axis and we look for -3 and plot that point. And remember, it's going to be a horizontal line. Now, it's greater than or equal to, so we do want a solid line. We're not going to change it to dashed. And we want above -3, so we shade everything above there. Okay? IXL, you better tell me I'm right. All right. All right, now this one, x is less than or equal to 5. We're going to go over to 5 on our x-axis, plot our line, and it is a solid line. It's less than, so it's over here, less than, right? When we look at the x-axis, everything that's less than 5 is in this direction. So we have to make that true by shading it. Let's have some, here we go. Here's something a little more complicated. And later in this IXL, I think sometimes you have to convert from standard to slope-intercept form, which you know how to do, so don't freak out. But here we go. Y is greater than -1/3 x plus 2. We're going to start with the y-intercept, plot that on the y-axis, and the slope tells me I'm going to go down 1 and over 3. So down 1 over 3, right there. See, I went down 1, and then I went over 1, 2, 3. Now, see that this is greater than and not greater than or equal to. I have to click on the line to make it a dotted line. That means that the solutions are not on that line. And it's greater than, so I'm going to shade above. Okay? Submit. So take your time. You're going to get a few wrong when you start, but just keep practicing and you'll be able to do this by the end of the class today.